everyone, and welcome to prompt number 53. Let's get into it. We've got 3: skateboard, serenity, and open book. Well then, here we go. So I was pretty pumped to get back into the prompts now that the Sketchbook Slam challenge is over, because that means I can put much more energy into these illustrations and ideas and basically make them better. I know I was neglecting them just a little bit when I was doing the Sketchbook Slam, because obviously the more time I put into these illustrations, the less time I had to do my 20 pages a day, which meant falling behind and panicking. But I'm back, I'm excited to do these prompts, and let's get into these ideas now that the sketches are over. Basically, I didn't do any of the sketches that I initially put into the book because I think my brain is just a little bit dead still, and I really wanted to go into this one with a bang because I am coming back, I have energy again, and I didn't just want to settle with the crappy ideas I had at the beginning. So at the beginning, I just had a very simple idea: someone doing some crazy tricks on a skateboard, looking like they are doing something extreme, but they are in serenity, they're still reading their book, and they look calm, despite doing something crazy. Or just having some skater kids standing there with their skateboard and reading. Basically, all of these ideas were very similar, and I thought they were just too basic, too boring, and I really just needed to rethink them and try to come up with something just a little bit more exciting and a little bit more fun, and especially something with a lot more detail because, like I said, I'm back! I want to do some great illustrations, and honestly, I'm pretty happy with this one, so let's talk about this new idea that I didn't even put in the book. So if you couldn't tell at this point, yes, I drew a bunch of anthropomorphic dogs, Kasey a furry, confirmed at this point. This idea was originally supposed to have humans in it, but I just thought it would be more fun and interesting to make animals out of these characters, and especially because I did want to focus on there being a lot of kids, especially around the same age, so an animal having a litter of babies is a lot more common than a human having 8 babies at one time. It happens, but it's much more common with animals, so I thought it'd be more fun to have. Well, I'll explain the idea now. The original idea was for there to be a mother with a baby sitting in a chair and having the other kids just absolutely wrecking havoc around her as she sits there in a state of serenity with her children and just not caring about the mess going around. But for whatever reason, I thought it would be more adorable to have like an old grandpa dog sitting in his chair. Maybe he was stuck babysitting for the day. And these kids are, again, just wreaking havoc all over the house. And he's just sitting there just so content to be able to spend time with his grandkids. And, well, let's be honest, he probably fell asleep. So maybe he doesn't even know it's happening. So his state of serenity is actually in a dream right now. And he doesn't even know what's going on around him. So just to point out the objects before people don't notice them and call me out, the skateboard is the puppy on the top left, the open book is on the floor on the bottom, and serenity is the old man sitting in the chair. He is just very content and happy with the situation despite what's going on. And now that we are on to the painting, I am very excited to talk about something that I don't think I have done for quite a while. It is the half-circle background sort of framing where characters are breaking out of that space, and I love doing that. It's my favorite thing to do, and it's been so long since I've done it. Basically, I do sort of a half-circle frame for the background, and then I like to play around with characters breaking out of this frame. I just think it adds a lot more interest to the illustrations. Instead of just having one sheet of paper just covered completely with the background, I just think it's more fun to have characters breaking out into this white space for whatever reason. I don't know, it just seems really interesting to me to frame it in a different shape and then have characters break out of it. I've already said that in like 5 different ways already. But it's back and I'm very excited. So when it came to coloring this piece, as usual when it comes to busy pieces with me, I get very scared about making it too much of a rainbow cluttery piece. I did want to try to focus on each aspect of this illustration being a certain color. So the dogs were kind of a reddish purple, and I did want to focus on the background being more of like a yellowy green sort of theme, I guess. What I'm trying to say, I think, is by making the characters a sort of red color and the background sort of a yellow-green theme, it separates the two so you can see what's going on, but also by incorporating the red and green in the background and also throughout the illustration, it brings them back together, I think. So despite there being mostly red on the dogs and green/yellow in the background, by making, well, we haven't gotten there yet, so I guess you'll have to see later. By making parts of the toys and stuff on the ground also red and green, and then later when I do paint that is spread all over the wall, spoiler alert, and all over the old man dog, I think it kind of brings everything together. So there's not a whole lot of red going on in the background, but because there is some smeared out throughout, it kind of, I guess, ties it together. I feel like I talk about this in every illustration, but I guess I just feel very passionate about that, huh? Which is funny because I think I'm really bad with color. Anyways, let's talk about the fact that this is the second illustration that I have colored using my new Schmincke Watercolors. The first time I used them was during the live stream where I created my witch Sona, and I love them. But I think this is the first time that I'm really using them with a more complicated piece. The only thing I had problems with was because myself, I'm not used to using pan watercolors, so usually when I mix up my tube watercolors, I put them in a very deep sort of thing to mix them, so I usually mix way more than I need, because I'm really scared about running out of watercolor. So when I'm mixing colors on a flat surface, which I know I don't have to use, but I feel like it's just more convenient, I don't mix enough because I'm not used to there being watercolor on a flat surface, so I don't quite know how much there is. So several times during this illustration, I thought I was mixing plenty of watercolor, only to find out that I quickly ran out, and that was my fault, and it's something that I'm learning how to do, to mix enough watercolor on something that I'm not used to doing. So that was quite a struggle, but overall I really enjoyed being able to just pick up the color out of a pan and not having to open up all of these tubes constantly to mix colors. I think it was much faster. And overall, I don't think I've had any issues with these watercolors. They are very smooth, they go down very flat, there's no chalky texture to them, there's no powderiness, they're pretty dang good, and they are also very vibrant like I mentioned in the unboxing. So these watercolors would recommend. They worked pretty good for me. I think my only regret in this illustration is that I made the main color of the dogs a little too dark. I didn't mean to make them so dark, so there is a lot of little too dark colors going on in this. So other than that though, I think I can happily say that I am proud of this illustration for once. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! And again, welcome to another very long end card. I could not get myself to just choose 20 entries for the prompts, so again, I am stuck with a 41 and a 1 minute long end card. Again, I just want to thank everyone for entering, but I will have to be much more strict with just picking 20 next time. It is so hard, and I feel so bad because I am so happy that you guys are participating. But I'm gonna have to do it, maybe. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe sometimes I'll make a really long end card, and maybe sometimes I will have a short end card. We will see. I'm excited to see what you guys do with these 3 prompts, Skateboard, Serenity, and Open Book, because what a mixed bag that is. So good luck with this week's prompt, and I will see you guys. This is another goodbye. Bye!